right, so I will start with the reading from the Golden Present, March 23rd. There's Randy and Larry. Good morning, you guys. March 23rd. You will only see beauty. Judging others is an act of the ego. It's a kind of arrogance. It means that you think you're a great person and all the others are fools. Well, yeah. Just kidding. Others may have a problem, but to judge them means that you have at least one kind of problem yourself, the problem of constantly criticizing people. You are actually no different from them. Before you see a mote in their eyes, see the beam in your own eye. The vulture flies so high, higher than many birds. It can see far and wide. But where will its eyes be? On a dead and decayed body somewhere. It soars beautifully and high, but it doesn't cast its eyes on good, holy things. Only on decayed matter. An ordinary fly looks for filthy matter to sit on, while a honeybee will fly past many other things to look for even a little bit of nectar on a flower. A few people that are coming in here. Hi, Hiromi. Hey, Tim. You see certain things in others because you have the eye to see it. If you have a beautiful eye, you will see only beauty. Know that everyone has some sort of weakness. A person who doesn't have any weakness at all won't even be on this earth. Don't have the kind of eye that finds faults in others. Be humble and correct your own problems. Yeah, a little bit of humble pie this morning is what Swami Satchidananda is suggesting for us. And I think it's, this is something useful to think about. Not only, how we perceive and allow ourselves to interpret the world, but to even think about, what are we working on? What is our journey on this planet where we are recognizing, there's some growth. There's some reason that we're in this body. It's even, written about that there's some karma that we might be working out to fulfill, and that's in the Vedic texts and in the ancient manuscripts of many spiritual practices. There's some understanding that there's a purpose for us to resolve some things from somewhere. And sometimes I even think, what if it's just even my early part of my life? There's certainly some things I looked at that I did where I wasn't the most kind person, or I know that I could have, I learned some lessons and now I'm thinking differently about life. But primarily this idea of, rather than pointing the finger, this is a common one too. When we point a finger out, we've got three other ones pointing back at ourselves. And I often like to say we also have the thumb that's pointing up to our higher power. So we can allow ourselves to bring that all into the conversation rather than spending all of our energy focusing on what others aren't doing or how they should do it better or how they didn't, ... And that's exhausting. That exhausts a lot of the energy that we could be using to work on ourselves. That actually could be part of the equation of making the world a better place. So even if we think we are holy and just in pointing the finger at other people, we're still stirring up the pot of sort of that negative vibe on the planet by thinking there's the other. And I think we've gotten into a lot of problems about focusing on a negative perspective and a negative history on the other. The more we can focus on the we, on the connection of us as a community, recognizing we all have faults. We all have something to be, to share our compassion with each other rather than our judgment. And what would that look like to be in a space where we had that as a natural impulse? or at least as a secondary impulse. If our natural impulse is to judge, at least to catch it, and then to be like, oh yeah, I could also choose to be compassionate in this moment. I could also choose to say, well, actually, I've been like that at times. And then it just sort of like creates a whole different relationship. Even with ourselves in our practice and on our mat, judging ourselves, oh, I can do better than this. Oh, why is my right side so inflexible? I hate my right side, So I've done that too. So even taking that in on our mat, how can we find that, more loving, compassionate practice? And I really do believe when we can do that on our mat, we can find that space where we're not pushing ourselves to that maximum place because of our ego, but we're actually opening up this space of compassion for ourselves. I think we do better in the world in general. So if that feels useful, take that with you today in your practice. See how you respond to yourself. Notice the self-talk, and let's go ahead and close the eyes. Take a few moments on your own to adjust, and then find stillness as best you can. The energy of the body sitting up nice and tall. The energy of the earth connecting you.